welcome to Juan Puchades.
Thanks so much. Now, in this second part of the workshop, we are going to do a tank. We need to create something should haven't been seen before in this gallery. Second, it should be not a nightmare for maintaining it. Third, it must show a big quantity of different plant species. Yesterday, all the stones were on a basket, and I started just analyzing them, seeing textures, seeing the different shapes and sizes of every stone, checking the size of all them, and also not just the height, also very important the height of them, because Brazilian style need space for having plants. Try to select the thinnest stones as possible with the nicest textures. We have in here this so wonderful stone that is going to be the main element. Is balanced with this one and the classical lines of the Brazilian style that we want to represent the flow. This rock is balancing and creating a huge element into here, but then if we go triangle, this area will become very unbalanced. So that is why I placed this element in here with very similar shape with this one, but for sure it's not going to be the main element, it's not going to be so strong. We have between this layer and this layer almost 4 fingers, and we have in here a big area in both sides for stem plants. I need to create something a bit different. This stone helped me a lot because I'm going to show you that in here there is a hole, there is an L shape, right? And once we have in here a white background, we will see in here a white shape that will come like this, and we'll get into here that in here there's a hole like this size. Now it has a continuation of this line from the big elements to very little elements, and this sand path will go through here. So we are going to create a vanishing point, a vanishing area over there. Also that vanishing area, the lighting will come here, so it's going to be really bright, and I have here a space enough to place some plants. Surely when I see it now, it's a bit down everything. I'm sure you are not seeing the first layer. Okay? The most important thing is always when we do a workshop, my main fail is that the big elements let always a bit short, a bit down. All the empty spaces make us feel that the whole tank is empty. I need that these 2 rocks stand until almost the surface. And now let's start. Well, like this.
Oops, my 3.
Okay, you have touched mine, I have touched yours.
Okay.
You have broken mine, I have broken yours. Yeah, no, we are going to glue it later, once we've finished. Yeah. Okay, sorry.
No problem.
Eye by eye. This is how it works in Spain. Okay, let's go. So first of all, as I told you, I need to go as high as possible with my elements, with my stones, and I'm going to create in here something to stand it. Okay. Usually at home, what I use is this size of lava stone, place it into girls' shocks, you know, and creating some bags. Because when I have to remove it, it's super easy for me to take all those bags, clean them, maybe break them and do new ones for the next escape. If we place lava rock directly to the tank, it works perfectly. Even it's better for the oxygen of the substrate layer. But once you have to remove it, the soil and your lava rocks are going to be all together. So if you place a mat that is just 2 centimeters from the glasses, nobody will see it, the soil that is in here, that maybe there's a layer like this of soil, this one is going to be useful and it's very expensive. So using lava rock helps a lot. We're going to use a layer of power sand. This layer should never touch the water column. I am sure the video is going to be super nice with this audio, right? And now we are going to place the power sand. Just as a little advice, try not to place the power sand or the lava rocks just until the glass. It's nicer to see just the soil. And in here, it will be super nice if we just see sand. Because if we see the transition between soil and sand, it's not as nice as if we see just sand. Take a look at the hill that we are creating, how it's getting up and up. That's super important. Okay, we have our hill prepared. It's important for us to achieve that the main elements will rise. I want to create scaffolds. I create first the first layer. Once it's stabilized, then these rocks will be stabilizing the soil. Then will be the moment to place our huge rock. First of all, we place it and then we move it without scratching till the place you want to stabilize it. Now this is super stable. Later we will place sand, but all the carpeting plants will find once the roots go down, they will find the soil. If we are not using any soil, all our plants are going to just take from their leaves. This stone is the one that is going to start creating the flow that we want to achieve. If you see all this layer, all rocks are connected and interacting between each other. Now, what is very smart to do is to fix them. This is a material that once you place the cyanoacrylate, this is liquid cyanoacrylate, it becomes dark gray and it will fix perfectly. Especially with rock, we have to take a bit, we have to place it in between the rocks.
Is it like paper? No.
It's like cellulose. Never smell it because it's super toxic. And just after 5 or 6 seconds, it's going to be completely hard. I place it, then you place the do not place like this. This is too much. Okay? Place just little.
Is also recommended with wood and stone?
It will work, but it will break also. Silicone is okay, and also silicone, it has resilience, you know? So it's perfect for gluing huge rocks because it's going to be glued, and also it will have some move if an earthquake comes, you know, but you need time, a lot of time. So this, for going fast, is much better. I also used epoxy materials, like the second one, not a good power of gluing. So in here, we are going to create a new tiny layer. So we have our first layer. Now we have the main element to be placed. Is now when I'm sweating, I found this flat stone. Okay, it's going to be the base of the huge stone. Where I have to place the huge stone? In the third, in the golden ratio area, here. Okay? We need space for planting, and for sure, after placing them and all the whole structure, we will also place more soil in here. And as I told you, take a look. Why this is my main stone? Because it's so wonderful, super nice shape. It has this nice area that will become my ending cave. Okay, so once I saw it, I know this was going to be my main element. First of all, it's important to check, is it where I want to place it, in the golden ratio? Yes. more or less. Is it high enough? Let's say yes. Okay? Why? Because it's going to be just like 4 fingers, and also the water is not going to be like this, it's going to be like this, so it's 3 fingers of water. It's perfect because I want some red colors to be coming here to make this even more my main point. It's super important to be patient and try to place this stone without touching it, because if it's stable by her own, it will never fall down. If it's not stable, there are big chances that some morning you will wake up and you will see the stone like this. We need some tension, but it must be safe. Take a look. It's not standing straight, it's standing like this, because in here we are going to create a really nice shadow. Even this stone, once it's wet, it's going to be very dark and it will create shadows by its own. So this area will always be shady. So it will be nice, a nice point where people will fix and then will help us to create here the bright area that we are trying to create. And now is the moment to fix it. Maya, do you know why I select you? Because I feel you are super elegant, you are going to do it perfectly, your hands are not super big like Jason, so you are not going to break anything as the males do, okay? So it's not pressure, but we need not to fall this, because if not we are going to break it, okay? So, yeah, yes, Jason, that will be the best.
In case.
If somebody has questions, please ask me. Maybe I am not going to look at you, but please tell it to me, because I know it's quite boring when we are creating it, but there is no other way to do it.
Will you glue much more if you have more time?
For workshop, I'm going to glue it, because I want this next year to be still here. So we are going to glue it a lot, but for sure, as much you glue it, as better you sleep. And this is not toxic at all. If someone is thinking about fishes or whatever, I promise I'm using this for many years, and I have never had any problem. Maya, please.
Would you use silicone if you had more time?
Sometimes I'm lazy nowadays. It will be a good idea, but I promise it's not toxic. So you have to balance it and think. With this, maybe a perfect idea will be do this, fix it just from the very first minute, and then place some silicone. If you are not going to fluid it today, then silicone needs at least 48 hours to be super safe.
If you want to reuse the rocks, it's better to not use silicone, maybe.
Yes, but silicone is really easy also to remove. Say that will be not my main point to select one or other. And this one is going to do like glass. Always think about creating at least 3 points. If you have 3 stable points, then you feel comfortable. And now we have to place the second main rock, the rock that is going to balance all the structure. I do not want them to be touching each other, because then we are going to lose that shape, that bright shape that I want for the vanishing point, and then it will be too easy. I remember a workshop of Plata Sand that there were 2 stones looking at each other, and there was a line. It was not like this, it was just a line, but both were standing like this and was super nice. After a few times, I saw the tank and the stones were like this, touching each other. Well, it's much more stable, for sure. It's easier to take care for the maintenance, but it was not as nice. It's a bit high, don't you think so? Both are too much in the same line. And I'm touching the lava rock. We have to remove a bit in there. We are going to create a little hole in here. It's going to be covered by sand in any case, but I don't like that too much. This is what I want, okay? Now you see the difference. So now how I can stabilize it? Very easy. Jason, hold it.
Yes.
You have a perfect style. You have so perfect. This rock in here, it fits perfectly here to stabilize it, or that is the theory. We have it. You are starting to see the cave, right? You are starting to see this line going down. You are starting to see the nice shape of the shadows that we will have in there, okay? So now it's moment to fix that one in there, and it's very, yeah, I forgot it. Now give me some, the bigger ones of the lava rocks, to place it here and glue it, to also stabilize it. And Maya, let's stabilize there. Let's place it here, and we are going to glue it a lot.
Did you want to glue that little one as well?
That one I don't mind, because it's an element that can be moved, and we don't mind. For placing this in these areas, it's perfect to have pin sets. And if it's this size, then it's perfect.
Okay.
This is like my dentist. The third element, it helps us a lot to create the line that we want to create. Also, shapes are quite similar, so this element is going to be placed here. Okay, with a nice transition. Sometimes, when I finish it, if I feel this is a too big transition, sometimes I place here a rock that fixes it correctly. I like it. I don't need that rock, okay? And also, it will help to look in here, but we must be always thinking about how plants will look after the tank is mature. So if you place in here a big element, then you will have here just some tiny stems going down, but I want that plants feel important with their relevance into this scape. So this area will be super nice with a nice bunch of rotala with ludwigias and so on. Sorry, Maya, I know that your work today is a bit monotonous, but I need you completely. Please, let's glue it. Oh, now I promise I am really happy about the L shape that we have, and now you are going to understand the cave that now feels really empty. It's going to we are going to place here some little Seiryu, black Seiryu elements that will give continuation to all these mountain lines, and will become from super big to super small to create that deep feeling. That's the way. Let me check. Not really, because you see that we are blocking now the L bright area. So it was fitting on the dojo. Now I'm not satisfied enough, and this little one will come from here. So we can work much more this vanishing point, but I hope you see, or later, please come closer, that now we have a continuation that makes that our eyes go much, much, much far away. Now we see a very ending peak in here, and we have like 2 fingers of space for Eleosharis. So now we have feeling of continuation, and this little one will come here. You see that this line is, let's see, fitting with this one. So I promise that I did not find the perfect stones for this idea. We have to place in there much more soil.
More?
Much more, without fear. It's not yours, also not mine. That's enough. Thanks, Jason. This is going to be completely covered. some years ago, when I didn't have this kind of material, I used it as the soil, a bit more super dried, or like this. Do it like powder, and place a bubble of cyanoacrylate, some powder, bubble, cyanoacrylate, and also works.
How do you maintain your rocks on your aquascapes that you're sending pictures for?
I must say that I never had green spot, and this greenish algae I see in many of the tanks, that many people brush it. Usually, if I want, I never had it. And when in my last tank I wanted to have a bit, then with the light I could achieve it, and having a bit more darkness, hardness in my water that usually I have, then it becomes a bit, but usually when I do very frequent water changes, never appear. But if you have it, it depends. I don't think it's ugly at all. I think it's natural. It's algae, but it's super natural, and I don't think it's something wrong. Also, the tank this year got second in the ISTA, or second also in KIAC, was from Longtang, and it had a layer covering of some green algae, and it looks super natural, and the judges thought it was a good idea. But when it's too much, and sometimes you see it, it gets dirty, then you have to try to avoid to be so far away. You have to clean it before.
But can you do too many water changes?
I do usually 3 a week, maybe 30–40%.
Will the water be unbalanced?
I always work with super soft water. When I'm up to 120 TDS, I change it. So I'm working between 80 to 120. It depends on what it's working with your water, with your fertilizer system, with your lighting. So maybe in my tanks it's working perfect, in your tank is not. But usually working with soft waters, I have no problems.
So do you fully fertilize it afterwards?
I daily fertilize. So that's why I'm continuously removing ferts and wasting ferts and water. But for my contest tank, it's very different than the others. Maya, let's glue it all. We have created a new layer that allowed us to place more soil in here and a super nice area where all the stem plants are going to stand up. We have finished. And now once I have it, I have to check if it's too much like an stir and try to balance it with some stones, or we consider is it okay. You have seen that here I have created, it was not at the dojo, also a little shady area, but take a look. Big shadow, secondary shadow a bit less, and a third little one in here. I always like to work with impair numbers in almost everything I do in my aquascaping. It's getting quite nice. The only thing I must say that I really don't like too much is this area, this hole in here. How to solve it? Taking stone, placing it from behind, and gluing it, and then place another one, and then that hole, it's over. And now, what we are lacking now, that this is triangular shape, everything is going over there, but in here we have all the weight of the composition, in here we don't have nothing. This element is going to help us to recreate more or less the same shape of the main stone, but into a different size. That will also help us to create some perspective. So we are going to place this stone standing here. We will have in here a super nice area for planting. In here, this is going to be the mid-ground plants, not stems, not carpeting. Okay, you are going to see how we are going to create a transition from here to here to here.
Do you ever gather materials from outside?
I have bought materials from Poland, from the Netherlands. I've been into a vivarium selecting the materials and sending it to my home. All the driftwoods you have seen in my last the World Champion tank, the Netherlands in vivarium, and the stones in Alicante, where these materials are coming. That is distributor for all the shops, and I selected piece by piece. So when I see like something like this, that the shops has so many materials, I really feel you are lucky, because it's not easy to find all that stuff. And now I'm gonna fill all this area with more soil, and I'm gonna do here a little element that will make this not finish like this, so straight, will finish a bit more like this. We will place then the sand. You will see the difference. Once we have bright sand, it will look much nicer. Have you seen that there's a hole in here? If you let this hole, soil will always come from this area to here. So it's super important to fill it. And now this is a nice layer of soil that will fertilize our plants. Take care of any little piece of soil comes to here, because if not, you are going to see it. Now it's going to change a lot, the aquascape, you will see.
Do you change the sand often, or do you just tighten up?
I try not to change them all, but when I'm cleaning, always some of with the tube. So we are losing many. Every 3 or 4 weeks, maybe we have to add a bit. Usually I use fertilizing. I use ADA first, almost Brightica, just a bit of minerals, and Amazonia. It's super rare that I used that I have to use iron. It's super rare that I need to use phosphorus or nitrogen. Amazonia give me enough for the contest tank. If I see that some plants, I see that there are problems with ferts, then I add more. I add nitrogen or phosphorus, but it's absolutely not usual, and super little quantity. I thought we have in here to place the sand. This one, yeah, this is perfect for this kind of stuff. It's perfect to place the sand in these areas.
Which type of fertilizer do you use for daily dosing?
Brightica and minerals from ADA, and also now I'm starting to use Neo soil, and there are also it's AQUARIUM, the brand, but I don't know if I have seen it here. APT is a bit expensive, but I have used it also. But I have to say that there is not, for my taste, there is not a fert that is better than others. Talking about the good ferts, right? It depends on how you use it. You know, if you are using a good brand and you know how to use it, then I feel you just need to check how to do it with that brand to achieve your results. Now, when we place the sand, we are starting to see what we are trying to achieve. No, Maya, maybe if you could. This one is glued, but this one is not. So if you can place a bit here, at least. Okay, now you see the vanishing point, right? Much more clearly. That's why I told you at the beginning we started a bit late, because of it was for me important to have a white background, because if we have there a black background, nothing is going to be seen, and we are not going to appreciate the shape. It's almost the main character of this aquascape. It's almost ready. Be careful. We have in here around 80, maybe 75 kilos of Seiryu stone. pH will rise almost 1 German degree scale a day. So what kind of water are you using? He told me, just Osmo. I said, perfect. Don't use tap water in here. Just osmosis you have to check it at the beginning, understand how it's raising it, and then just my rule is once it's 120, I do water change. I do 40, 50, even 60% water change. We have already done our main structure. We can feel a bit that some areas are dangerous, are risky, but everything is completely stable. We have one big clear layer, the second one, this layer for plants, this huge rock layer that is the main standing element of the tank, another layer of plants, another layer of rock, and a final layer of plants. And in here we have the vanishing point. So more or less we have everything that we wanted to achieve with this tank, and we are now just going to finish it with some details. Almost full. I'm going to place in here a bit more of soil, and I'm going to use this. It's another Ryuoh product that I have to remove these ones because it's too round, you see. So with the texture of the Seiryu stone, it doesn't fit perfectly. Take a look now. It's the monotony has been broken. It looks quite natural. And well, for the final photo, looks nice. Now for the final photo of the hardscape. Because with time, all these tiny details are gonna disappear completely. So if you are going contest, you have to do these details 3 weeks or 4 before the final photo. I always do it now because I like to have a nice hardscape photo, but usually it's at the end when we do it. Okay, so mostly now we have it. I'm gonna place a bit more of soil and the hardscape is finished. And then if you consider, we take 5 minutes and we start with the planting with all the tips and advices about how to do it. Okay, that's it.